Have you ever wanted to play an Armored Core game at glorious 144p on your Nokia from like 2005? Well, unfortunately, the reality is that you can't. However, if you lived in Japan at the right time, you might have been able to get the Armored Core experience on the go, and no, I'm not referring to the PSP games. During the mid to late 2000s, From Software would release a series of flip phone games known as Armored Core Mobile. There are 5 of these games, and besides the first one, which we'll get to in a bit, they appear to translate the gameplay of old-gen Armored Core games to a weak-ass mobile device. Now, I can't imagine how much of a pain in the ass this would be to control, but it still fascinates me nonetheless. If you've played the PSP Armored Cores, you know the pain. Anyways, while the files could be floating around somewhere, there's no obvious location online to download these titles. Therefore, these games are generally considered to be lost media among the Armored Core fanbase. So as someone who has a strong interest in both lost media and Armored Core, this is naturally a topic I want to talk about. Unfortunately, the likelihood of these games being dumped online and preserved for future generations to enjoy extra clunky, low-res Armored Core is not very great. If you were hoping to experience these games via fan translation, I'm sorry to crush your dreams. There's a very good chance that these games simply get lost to time, and that's sad to think about. However, I still hold out hope that these games get found. The good news is that there is evidence that at least some Japanese fans still own these games. What you're looking at now is some of the highest quality footage of these games you can find online. Speaking of online, I highly doubt that Armored Core Mobile Online will ever get found, and I think that should be for fairly obvious reasons. Besides that, these games honestly look pretty impressive considering the extreme hardware limitations. The first game does look considerably different from the rest as it opts for a top-down view. This makes it perhaps a bit less impressive, but you have to start somewhere, I guess. The fact that these games resemble their console counterparts at all is quite the feat, and it would be a shame to see that hard work go to waste. I should also note that these aren't the only flip phone titles that From Software put out. There is evidence that both Kingsfield and Tenchu have flip phone games as well. I want to bring it to people's attention since I believe they deserve to be found just as much as the Armored Core Mobile games, even if they don't interest me as much. Anyway, an official English localization of the first game, Armored Core Mobile Mission, was planned at some point, but those plans obviously fell through. Most of what is known about this localization comes from an IGN article all the way back from 2005. Furthermore, this article proves that Mobile Mission had most of the customization this series is known for. It kinda makes me disappointed that we didn't get this. Now, if you thought the lost media of Armored Core ended with these flip phone games, you'd be wrong, because this is arguably the most mysterious piece of Armored Core media we may never know more about. Armored Core Fort Tower Song was an OVA that was never meant to be. From Software announced that it was officially cancelled in 2011. Very little is known about this anime, but there are some things we can infer about it. Apparently, this OVA would take place around the same time as Last Raven, which is From Software's most sadistic game ever made. Anyways, perhaps Fort Tower Song was intended to be a loose adaptation of sorts. It would follow a female protagonist known as Sparrow as she presumably tries to survive the events of Last Raven. Good luck to her! Another interesting tidbit is that a novel of the same name was apparently published in 2007. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't believe there is any translation of this novel. If we knew more about it, perhaps it could give us some insight as to what was planned for the anime. However, considering that the OVA was officially cancelled in 2011, it's hard to say how much the production changed over time. It's also entirely possible that Fort Tower Song never really left the concept phase. It's possible that we may never know how far the OVA got into production, and we might have to accept that. However, the idea of an Armored Core anime is awesome, and it's a shame we have never got one. It's cool to know that we were once very close to getting one, but unfortunately, we'll probably only be able to see it in an alternate universe. Anyway, that's all I currently have to say about the lost media of Armored Core. I'd love to check out the Armored Core mobile games so I can say more about them, but I just can't. It's too bad that these pieces of media are forgotten and that more people aren't searching for them. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'm trying to upload more frequently these days and experiment a little bit more with my content. Right now, I'm working on a video review for Lies of P, but it's taking me a while. Hopefully, this can tide you over for now. Thanks for watching, I truly do appreciate it.